We continue with this reading into a book, Believe It. Believe It by Amy Kinlimer. And that's the copy. That's my copy. And we've been reading through it today. We're going to go to chapter 5. All right. The whole book is just about believing the right things that would get us from wherever we are to the place where we ought to be. Right? Life is all about believing. Life is a believing game. We're made believing beings. We are at our truest, highest form when we believe. We're made to have faith. We're made to live by faith. We're made to live by love. We're not made to live by fear. We're not made to live by sadness. We're not made to live by unbelief. We're made to have a hope, to have love, to have faith. That is the way God created us. So we're our truest, highest form. When we work in faith, we work in hope, we work in love. And that's the whole idea of the book, trying to get us to where we ought to be so that we can win in life. We can become champions in life. We can overcome in life. We can become the people, the person that God created us to be so that we can be a blessing and not a parasite or something that people look over in this life, because we're wonderful. We're wonderfully created to overcome, to win in life. We've been going through this for the past 6 weeks. This is our 6th week here. And so we're going to go into chapter 5 today. And pretty much we said the book is just a story of each one of us, right? How we're able to move from being nothing into something, poverty into richness, powerlessness into powerfulness, unknown into notoriety, right? That's the whole essence of the book, and that's where we're trying to get you to. Like I keep on saying on my social networks, my idea, God's idea, me and God want you to win. We want you to be rich. We want you to become well-known. We want you to be your remarkable self. God made you remarkable and will stop at nothing to get you there, right? Just stay with us. We want to get you there. If you want to get there, then use us as an extra vehicle in getting there, because that's the whole idea of what we do. And this is the whole idea of all I do every day, right? So that's all we're doing through the book. It's trying to get you where you ought to be as a winner in life, as an overcomer in life, as one who's fulfilling purpose in life, right? And we go on to chapter 5. And chapter 5 here is going to focus on the power of your microphone, the power of the influences on your life, because none of us is made here to be just an highland of his or ourselves. We are here in such a way that the influences, the voices around us affect our destiny. It affects whether we're going to attain or not attain, right? That's the way we're created. The voices around us become inputs into our subconscious mind. And if we don't correct them rightly, right, it becomes a recording of what we're giving to our subconscious mind to bring out, to walk out, right? So it could either help us or hinder us, depending on the heart of the person speaking it and the way we receive it also, right? Life is not just about what you hear, it's about the way you hear it. What you hear and the way you hear it affects your destiny. It affects your fate. And because you're the captain of your soul, you need to be careful what you hear and the way you hear it. That's called the power of your microphone, the power of the things speaking to your life, right? So, and in life, like we typically would say, it's not what the size of the dog that's important, it's how much fight is in that dog, right? It's not as much as how big, small you are. It's how much fight do you have in you? How much do you really want the thing that you're desiring for? It's not about whether you want it or you need it. It's the question is how much do you really want it? How much do you really need it? How much sacrifice are you willing to go through to get it? That will determine whether you get it or not. Because life is not about just asking. Life is about making demands, right? As a baby, yes, maybe ask, you get. But when it becomes the big things of life, as you grow up, It's not just asking. You have to place demands. You have to show that you want it with all that is inside of you, right? You're not going to get big things with just flimsy requests, right? It's a placing demand for it. It's a being willing to give all that you have to get it, right? And it's not how big you are, it's not who you are, your name, your creed, your faith, your color, your ethnicity. Is how much demand, how much do you really want it? How much is it a desire, a driving force within you to want it? That's what will determine whether you get it or not, right? And the influences around you determine that. They put the fight inside of you, right? And that's why they're important. Typically my mentor, Jim Rohn, would say that you are the average of the 5 people you're closest to, right? I know someone was saying it's not just the 5 people, when it says 5 people, they're just focusing on your immediate, there is your immediate circle and the other circles all around you, right? Depending on how much time you spend with them, how much you respect them, so that much you respect them talks about how much weight you put to their words and how much of those words you're even allowing into your life, right? Those who influence you. But the people that have the most impact on you are the ones that are closest to you, who are the ones that spend the majority of the time with you, right? So you have to be careful who you spend majority of your time with, because they are speaking, they are doing, they are thinking. Every 3 of those ones are influencing you, right? Because don't forget, the mind is a receiving and also a transmitting agent. Your mind transmits, your mind receives, right? So everything that is influencing or influenceable that is transmitting around you will influence your mind, even the spirit. Even when the person does not speak anything, just a mere fact that the person has access to your life, the mind of that person is transmitting, right? So it's what the person is saying, what the person is thinking, what the person is doing will influence your life, right? So you have to be careful the kind of people you allow into your space, because they're influencing your life. And you might not like, or you might not be in the path that you want, except and you allow only those that will influence you in the part of your destiny, the part of your goal, the part of the fate you want for yourself, right? Again, you're the captain of your soul. So take charge, right? The result of and this pretty much follows from it ties to what we call the law of average, right? In life, everything is trying to seek congruency, right? Life is such that there is an equilibrium. Life seeks equilibrium. When anything is out of shape or out of too disparity, there's a force of life that seeks equilibrium. So one is probably either going low, the other one is going high, just looking for equilibrium, right? So that ties to what we're talking about, because life, anytime you're relating with people, there's the two spirits are relating with one another, and they're trying to find a place of equilibrium, a place of congruency. So that's what what's the name now? Sydney Porter talks about when 2 people go for a work, something wonderful. It doesn't matter what their speed of each of them typically is, because they're going for a walk and they're talking together. They are going to seek a new speed of walking, which is different from the 2 of them. Somehow they adjust to some new speed, which is different from the 2 of them. But it's a result of the influence of both of them. They are both influencing one another. The faster one is becoming slower, the slower one is becoming faster, and they come to some new walking level so that they are able to relate and work together, right? Same thing that happens in life, right? Life seeks congruency, seeks some average, right? When you are talking with someone, relating with someone, it's spirit relating with spirit, and those 2 spirits are seeking congruency, right? They're looking for a new average so that they can relate together. That's the same way people have influenced your life, right? So you have to be careful who you relate with. You relate to people that are moving in a direction, part of your destiny, of the fate that you want, all right? Otherwise, it might be moving you away from what you want. And I was just reading WebMD, and I saw Leslie Becker Fields writes these 4 influences of friends on our lives. And she says that friends affect the ways that you think and feel about yourself, which is part of what we're talking about. You see, people around you, because they are showing you a model, we're advertising something to you. And because they are your friends, because that means you have accepted them into your circle. But knowingly or unknowingly, because you are friend with them, you are relating with them, your spirit becomes calm. Your defense walls go down, meaning that anything they bring, because you have called them friends, is allowed to go past the gate, right? And don't forget, your subconscious mind is listening. Typically, when you have a friend around, your conscious mind lowers the gate, and what your friend is saying gets to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, again, like I've always said, is a dummy. It's a very powerful force, but it's a dummy. It will receive and do whatsoever reaches it. So if your friends around you, whatever your friends, who you have called your friends, are doing, they will affect the way you think and the way you feel. Probably the feeling is the most funny one, because it's something you begin to feel in ways that that don't feel rational, but they are results of what your subconscious mind has received into itself, right? So if you want to guide about the way you feel and think, you need to be watchful of the people you allow into your space, right? Because they're affecting you, right? Also, she talks about friends influence each other's personal preference and lifestyle. Obviously, we typically, when we call people our friends, we don't want to be standing out, right? Because again, friendship is a place where we look for a place of commonality, a place of oneness together, right? There's truly, in the real sense, no sense of competition amongst friends. You compete against enemies, not friends, right? Because if you call someone your friend, is a place where you want to be at home with the person. So you will not tend to want to differentiate yourself from such persons, meaning that whatever is common amongst your closest friends are the things your spirit, your person will tend towards. It becomes a new bending for you. Also, you have to ask yourself, do you like this bending? Is this bending in line with the purpose of your life? Is it in line with the calling of your life? Is it in line with where you want to go? If you begin to go on this new bending, will it get you to the end you have set for yourself? Are you going to get to the destination you have set for yourself? Are you going to go in the direction you have set for yourself? Right? Because it's going to influence you, right? Number 3 talks about your friendship is the present influence, the nature of your friendship in the present influence the nature of your friendship in the future, for sure. Because your friendship today is setting a direction for your future. It's already giving you a bending. And if you don't do anything about it, you always be seeking people that agree with that. You see, I love that. Carl Gustav Jung has that famous quote that what we call fate, we call destiny, is when the unconscious is controlling us and we don't know it, right? The unconscious is controlling us, right? Friendship, relationship becomes the unconscious that begins to control us, because there are certain recordings into our subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is where our habits are stored, where the neural pathways are being created, which becomes the easy path that will follow, right? So when we're not conscious of ourselves, the unconscious is what directs us, is what leads us, is what pushes our life, right? So whatever you are lying today, you are setting as a record in your subconscious mind, as a record in your subconscious mind. You are saying, this is what I approve of. This is the way I want to go. That is whether you like it or not. Because once you open yourself to that influence, your subconscious mind is recording, right? So whatever you approve today will determine tomorrow what you'll be doing, especially when you're not thinking about it. Because your subconscious mind is the autopilot of your life, to run your life when you are not consciously thinking about what to do, right? So